गुड मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू बिंदु डडवाल केमिस्ट्री लेसन्स। आज हम सॉल्व करेंगे एचपी बोर्ड का क्लास 11 मार्च 2023 का केमिस्ट्री का पेपर। सो लेट अस बिगिन। द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज मास परसेंट ऑफ नाइट्रोजन इन अमोनिया इज, तो मास परसेंटेज हो जाएगी 14/17 इंटू 100, जो सॉल्व करके 82.35% आती है. So option A is the correct answer. The maximum number of electrons that can fit in all the orbitals with n is equal to 2 and L is equal to 1. So principal quantum number is 2 and L in 1 means it's p subshell. अब p में 3 orbitals होते हैं, हर orbital में 2 electron fill कर सकते हैं, तो 3 orbitals में 6 हुए, तो that means answer should be 6 electrons can be filled in 2p orbital. Next question is IUPAC name for the element with atomic number 120. For 1 we use un, for 2 we use bi, and for 0 it is nil, and we place IUM at the end, so the name is un-bi-nilium. So option B is the correct answer. Identify a molecule which does not exist. As in He2 it is 0, so option C will not, this molecule will not exist, there is no bond here. Which of the following angle corresponds to sp2 hybridization? So sp2 hybridization is trigonal planar, and the bond angle is 120 degree. How does the surface tension of a liquid vary with increase in temperature? It decreases. The enthalpies of all elements in their standard states are taken as 0. We know that the relationship between Kp and Kc is Kp is equal to Kc into RT raised to power delta Ng. What would be the value of delta Ng for reaction? So delta Ng is the difference in the number of gaseous moles of products and reactants. Products, there are 1 plus 1, 2 moles, whereas there is no gaseous mole in reactants. This is solid. This will not be counted. So 2 minus 0 is 0. So delta Ng should be 2. Option D is the correct answer. The formula of soda ash is Na2CO3. Benzene reacts with acetyl chloride in presence of AlCl3 to give, this is Friedel-Crafts acylation reaction, benzene plus acyl chloride in presence of AlCl3. The H of benzene will react with Cl of acetyl chloride, and acetyl group gets attached here, so acetophenone is formed. Option A is the correct answer. Homolytic fission of a covalent bond leads to the formation of a free radical. The bond divides equally in 2 parts, so the alkyl group with 1 electron is a free radical. Identify the compound which exhibits tautomerism. So an aldehyde or a ketone can show tautomerism, so 2-pentanone will be your answer. State and explain the law of multiple proportion. Law of multiple proportion states if 2 elements can combine to form more than one compound, the masses of one element that combines with a fixed mass of other element are in the ratio of simple whole numbers. Next question is exactly half filled and completely filled configurations have extra stability. Explain why. So answer is exactly half filled and completely filled orbitals have extra stability due to number 1, symmetrical distribution of electrons, and number 2, exchange energy. Now half filled configuration is symmetrical, and symmetry leads to stability. So similarly, fully filled is also symmetrical. Due to symmetrical distribution, they become extra stable. And exchange energy, the stabilizing effect arises whenever two or more electrons with same spin are present in the degenerate orbitals, that is, orbitals of equal energy of a subshell. They will exchange their positions and energy will be released due to exchange, and this energy is called exchange energy. Now, number of exchanges are maximum when the shell is either half filled or fully filled. As a result, exchange energy is maximum and stability is also maximum. For example, when d orbital contains one electron each, this is exactly half filled configuration. Electron number 1 can exchange its position with rest of the 4 electrons, so 4 exchanges by electron 1. Similarly, 3 exchanges by electron 2, 2 exchanges by electron 3, and 1 exchange by electron 4. So in all, now 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, that is 10 exchanges occur in case of half-filled configuration D5. Whereas if the configuration is D4, then the number of exchanges is only 6. So because of greater exchanges, this configuration is more stable. When a continuous electromagnetic radiation is allowed to pass through a gas or a solution of some salt, and the transmitted light is analyzed, we obtain a spectrum in which dark lines are observed in an otherwise continuous spectrum. Such a spectrum consisting of dark lines due to absorption of light is known as absorption spectrum. State Pauli's exclusion principle. It states that no two electrons in an atom can have the same set of 4 quantum numbers. Question 16. The size of anion is always greater than that of its parent atom. Why? So answer is that when a gaseous neutral atom takes up one or more electrons, it becomes an ion. As a result, an electron is added to the outermost shell. So the effective nuclear charge decreases. Therefore, the attraction of electrons towards the nucleus decreases. The electron will tend to move away from the nucleus and size increases. Dalton's law of partial pressure. So it states that the total pressure exerted by a mixture of two or more non-reacting gases in a definite volume is equal to the sum of individual pressures which each gas would exert if it occupies the same volume at a constant temperature. Mathematically, P total is sum of individual pressures, P1 plus P2 plus P3 and so on. Using the equation of state, PV is equal to nRT, show that at a given temperature, the density of gas is proportional to the gas pressure. PV is equal to nRT. We will find a relation between density and gas pressure. So, P, we take V to the other side and get P is equal to N upon V RT. But N, the number of moles, is mass upon molecular mass. So putting M upon M in place of N, we get P is equal to M upon V RT upon M. But M upon V is mass per unit volume is density D. So we get the relation P is equal to D into RT upon M. Now for a given gas, M is always, molecular mass is constant, and at a given temperature T is also constant. So that means this is constant, this is constant, this is gas constant, this is also constant. So P is equal to D into constant values means that if we remove the sign of equality, we get the sign of proportionality by taking out the constants. So we get the relation P is proportional to D. That principle predicts the effect of increase in temperature for the reaction. Lee Chatler's principle states that at equilibrium, if a system is subjected to change in any of the factors such as temperature, pressure, concentration, etc., then equilibrium will shift itself in that direction in which the effect of change is reduced. For example, this is the reaction N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH2, and the value given is minus 92.38. That means the reaction is exothermic. So if we increase the reaction will go in the direction in which it is endothermic. So if in forward direction it is exothermic, in backward direction it is endothermic. So on increase of temperature, reaction will go in the backward direction, that is ammonia will decompose to counteract the effect of increase of temperature. CCl4 cannot be hydrolyzed on d orbitals are present. Carbon atom does not have vacant d orbitals. Silicon has vacant d orbitals. So it can expand its octet and coordination number. So for example, SiCl4 will react with water. Oxygen will give electrons and it increases its covalency from octet to 5 bonds, that is 10 electrons, and then in the next step the Cl of SiCl4 and H of water will combine to form HCl, and OH takes the place of this Cl. So in the next step, the remaining 3 chlorine atoms will also get displaced with the 3 OH groups by combination with water, and SiOH 4 times is. Why are melting points of alkanes with even number of carbon atoms higher than alkanes with odd number of carbon atoms? This is because alkanes with even number of carbon atoms are more symmetrical, hence they are more closely packed. The attractive forces are stronger, so melting points are greater. Whereas in molecules, alkanes having odd number of carbon atoms, the packing is not symmetrical, so packing is not efficient and attractive forces are weaker, so melting point is less. How will you convert benzene to chlorobenzene? With benzene to chlorobenzene, we reacted with chlorine in presence of N-hydrous zinc chloride. So a chloronium ion gets attached and chlorobenzene is formed. So classical smog, also known as London smog, is formed by a mixture of sulfur dioxide, particulates, and high humidity in the atmosphere. Whereas photochemical smog is formed when air contains nitrogen oxides and unsaturated hydrocarbons and mixture is exposed to sunlight. Classical smog is formed in winter season when temperature is low in early morning hours, whereas photochemical smog is formed in summer season when temperature is high during daytime. It is reducing smog with high concentration of SO2. It is oxidizing smog with high concentration of nitrogen oxides and ozone. It causes problems in the lungs, that is bronchitis, irritation. It causes irritation in the eyes and respiratory system and is also harmful to fabrics, crops, and ornamental plants. With the help of molecular energy level diagram, determine the bond order and magnetic character of oxygen molecule. So the electronic configuration of oxygen atom is 1s2, 2s2 and 2p4. So two atoms will combine to form, the atomic orbitals of the two atoms will combine to form molecular orbitals, which are arranged in increasing order of energy. So sigma 1s, sigma star 1s, sigma 2s, sigma star 2s, sigma 2pz, pi 2px, pi 2py, and pi star 2px, pi star 2py, and sigma star 2pz. Now, 16 electrons are arranged in order of increasing energies. So we've placed 2 electrons in the lowermost orbital, sigma 1s, then sigma star 1s. So configuration is sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2, sigma 2s2, sigma star 2s2, sigma 2pz2, pi 2px2, pi 2py2, pi star 2px1, and pi star 2py1. These are 16 electrons. So to find out bond order, the formula is number of electrons in bonding orbitals minus number of electrons in anti-bonding orbitals upon 2. So number of electrons in bonding are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and the number of electrons in anti-bonding is 2, 4, and 6. So 10 minus 6 upon 2 is 4, upon 2 is 2. So bond order is 2. Magnetic character, because there are unpaired electrons in the molecular orbital energy level diagram, so magnetic character, it is paramagnetic. Then next question is, what is dipole moment? So the product of magnitude of positive or negative charge and the distance between positive and negative charges is known as dipole moment, which is represented with mu, and the units of dipole moment is d by. The next question is, calculate pH of 0.001 molar NaOH solution. So NaOH decomposes to form Na plus ions and OH negative ion. 1 mole forms 1 mole OH negative ions. So 0.001 mole will form 0.001 mole of OH negative ions, be equal to 10 raised to the power minus 3 mole. And to find out the concentration of H plus ions, we multiply. We know that ionic product of water is product of concentration of hydrogen ions and hydroxide ions. This we know. So concentration of H plus ion will be 10 raised to power minus 14 upon 10 raised to power minus 3. So this comes out to be 10 raised to power minus 11. Now we have the concentration of hydrogen ions. pH is negative log of hydrogen ions, so negative log of 10 raised to power minus 11, which comes out to be 11. So pH is 11. Then next question is, what is common ion effect? Suppression of the degree of dissociation of a weak electrolyte by the addition of a strong electrolyte containing a common ion is called common ion effect. For example, acetic acid is weak electrolyte and ionizes to give acetate ions and hydrogen ions. If we add strong electrolyte, sodium acetate, containing acetate ions which are common with this, then this reaction goes in backward direction according to Lee-Chatela's principle, and so less ionization takes place. Given the standard electrode potentials, K positive changes to K is minus 2.93, silver ion, reduction of silver ion plus 0.80, reduction of mercuric ions 0.79 plus 0.79, magnesium ions reduction minus 2.37, and chromium ions are reduced minus 0.74 volt. So arrange these metals in their increasing order of reducing power. जितनी ज़्यादा नेगेटिव वैल्यू होगी उतना ही रिड्यूसिंग पावर ज़्यादा होगा. तो सबसे ज़्यादा इसकी है, तो ये नंबर 5. देन क्योंकि हमने इंक्रीजिंग ऑर्डर में अरेंज करना है, देन नंबर 4, देन नंबर 3, देन नंबर 2, देन नंबर 1. So order will be silver, then mercury, then chromium, then magnesium, then potassium. Then oxidation state of chromium in K2Cr2O7, तो ये +1 है, ये X है, तो 2 into +1 plus 2 into X plus 7 into -2 is equal to 0. सॉल्व करने पे ये आता है +6. Explain why ice floats on water. Though in ice, each oxygen is tetrahedrally bonded to 4 hydrogen atoms, 2 by covalent bonds and 2 by hydrogen bonds. So as a result, the different water molecules eventually combine with each other to form a cage-like structure in which there is a lot of empty space, because of which the density is less. In comparison, when we melt the ice to form water, the heat given breaks the hydrogen bonds and these water molecules come closer and density increases. So that means that solid water or ice has less density, whereas water has more density. So because being lighter, ice will float on water. What causes temporary hardness of water? So bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium will cause temporary hardness of water. Why beryllium and magnesium do not impart color to the flame? This is because beryllium and magnesium have high ionization energy, and energy of the flame is not sufficient to take out the electron from beryllium and magnesium and excite it to higher level. As a result, no energy can be absorbed and flame cannot be given a color. What is the action of heat on limestone? Limestone is calcium carbonate. So when it is heated, it decomposes to give calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. What is the chemical formula of slaked lime? It is CaOH twice. Write IUPAC name of the following. अब यहाँ पे ट्रिक ये है कि अगर आपने इस कंपाउंड को एक्सपैंड नहीं किया तो गलत नाम आ जाएगा. सबसे पहले इसको एक्सपैंड करेंगे तो हम देखते हैं कि ये C2H5 को जब ओपन करेंगे तो लॉन्गेस्ट कंटिन्यूस कार्बन चेन 5 कार्बन की बन रही है, जबकि यहाँ 4 लग रहा था. तो अब 5 कार्बन की जब हम नंबरिंग करते हैं तो हम देखते हैं दोनों साइड से मीथाइल सब्स्टिट्यूएंट बन रहा है, और नंबरिंग किसी भी साइड से करेंगे तो 3 मिथाइल पेंटेन इसका नाम होगा. इसी तरह इस कंपाउंड में भी नंबरिंग हम इस साइड से करेंगे क्योंकि डबल बॉन्ड यहाँ से पास पड़ रहा है. तो 4th पोजीशन पे सब्स्टिट्यूएंट क्लोरो लगा है तो नाम हो जाएगा 4 क्लोरो पेंट 2 इन. Then what is inductive effect? The permanent displacement of electrons around a carbon chain due to an atom or group of atoms of different electronegativities at the end of carbon chain is called inductive effect. For example, if an electron withdrawing group is attached, then electrons of the chain will get pulled towards that group. So this effect is called inductive effect. It is of two types, negative minus I effect and plus I effect. Describe the chemistry of Lessaine's test used for detection of nitrogen. To perform Lessaine's test, we fuse sodium with the organic compound. First, we heat sodium till it fuses and forms a shining globule. Then we add the organic compound to it, and then we make plunge this and heat it further, and then we plunge the components of the tube in a china dish containing distilled water, and then we heat it and take out an extract. To the extract we add ferrous sulfate, and then we add ferric chloride till a Prussian blue color is observed. If Prussian blue color is observed, then nitrogen is present in the compound. The chemistry of the test is that the sodium will react with the carbon and nitrogen of the organic compound to form sodium cyanide. Sodium cyanide reacts with ferrous sulfate to form ferrous cyanide. This ferrocyanide will react with this sodium cyanide to form sodium ferrocyanide. When ferric chloride is added, it forms ferric ferrocyanide, which is Prussian blue in color. What are substitution reactions? So when an atom or group of atoms in a molecule is displaced by some other atom or group of atom, the process is called substitution. फिर अगला क्वेश्चन है डिराइव गिब्स हेल्महोल्ट्ज इक्वेशन. तो हमें पता है G इज इक्वल टू H माइनस TS होता है. तो अगर हमें चेंज इन फ्री एनर्जी निकालना हो तो हम इसको डिफ्रेंशिएट करेंगे. तो डेल्टा G ऑफ सिस्टम विल बी डेल्टा H ऑफ सिस्टम माइनस TS के डिफ्रेंशिएशन T डेल्टा S माइनस S डेल्टा T हो जाएगा. लेकिन एट कांस्टेंट टेम्परेचर डेल्टा T ज़ीरो हो जाएगा, तो ये टर्म ज़ीरो हो जाती है और इक्वेशन रह जाती है डेल्टा G ऑफ सिस्टम इक्वल टू डेल्टा H ऑफ सिस्टम माइनस T डेल्टा S ऑफ सिस्टम, और सिंपली डेल्टा G इक्वल टू डेल्टा H माइनस T डेल्टा S. सो दिस इज हाउ वी डिराइव Gibbs-Helmholtz equation. Then what is adiabatic process? A process in which the heat is neither absorbed nor given out is called an adiabatic process. What is enthalpy of neutralization? So amount of heat released when 1 mole of a monobasic acid is completely neutralized is called enthalpy of neutralization. For a strong acid and strong base, the enthalpy of neutralization is minus 57.1 kilojoules always. What is catenation? The property by virtue of it an atom will combine with its own kind to form long chains is called catenation. Carbon combines with carbon to form long chains. What is basic building unit of silicates? So basic building unit of silicates is SiO4 tetrahedron, in which silicon atom is combining with 4 oxygen atoms. Why does BF3 behave as a Lewis acid? Because BF3 is an electron deficient compound having only 6 electrons. So in order to complete its octet, it accepts a pair of electron from an electron donor and thus acts as a Lewis acid. What is producer gas? A mixture of carbon monoxide and nitrogen is called producer gas. State and explain Markovnikov's rule. So Markovnikov's rule states that the addition of a molecule to an unsymmetrical alkene occurs in such a way that the negative part of the adding molecule goes to that carbon atom which contains less number of hydrogen atoms, and the positive part goes to that carbon which contains more number of hydrogen atoms. So when HBr adds to propene, Br negative part will come to this carbon, it contains 1 hydrogen only, and positive part will go to that carbon which contains 2 hydrogens. What is conformation? The different arrangement of atoms in space which can be obtained due to rotation about carbon-carbon single bond is called conformation. Complete the reaction. Calcium carbide on reacting with water will form acetylene and calcium hydroxide. Write a short note on decarboxylation reaction. So when sodium acetate is heated with soda lime, a 3:1 mixture of sodium hydroxide and calcium oxide of sodium acetate reacts to form sodium carbonate, and hydrogen combines with methyl part and an alkane with 1 carbon less is formed. This reaction is called decarboxylation reaction. What are isomers? 2 or more compounds having same molecular formula but different physical properties and different structures are called isomers. Complete the reaction. तो concentrated sulfuric acid dehydrating agent होता है. अल्कोहल से रिएक्ट करने पर H और OH वाटर बना के निकल जाएंगे और एल्कीन बनेगा. तो प्रोडक्ट्स होंगे CH2 डबल बॉन्ड CH2 एंड water. So that's all in today's video. If you like the video, please do share and subscribe. Thank you. Have a nice day.